Hey guys, it's Brit tonight. We're here to talk about Lisa Mia. She is going viral right now for trauma dumping on a barista at Starbucks, and I had a few thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so I've talked before about good deeds and acts of kindness and how I am obviously all for it, love to see it, all the good things. I love it. The problem with social media is people do acts of kindness strictly to get attention, sympathy, an applause, new subscribers, engagement on their video. And that's the problem with social media is these people, would they be doing it if they weren't able to post it for everybody to consume and everybody to pat them on the back? So I struggle with that. But this girl, Lisa Mia, and she is on TikTok and she posts a lot of, what I would consider kind of, it almost borders on like toxic positivity kind of content at times. But she posts herself, or she films herself going through the Starbucks drive-thru. She puts this video out, and obviously, she was filming herself doing this, where she goes up to the Starbucks barista at the drive-thru window and says, "I'm paying for the person behind me." So first of all, that could have been the end of the sentence. I want to pay for the person behind me. That's all. Didn't need to be a video, didn't need to be a run-on sentence. But she continued and said that she was doing this because her husband was brutally murdered, and that is why she wants to pay for the person behind her. And this is not the first time that she's done this. She uses her quote-unquote husband and his brutal homicide as a way to get clicks and views and engagement on her social media page. Right now, she has 9,476 followers on TikTok. I'm actually probably not going to be able to play it, but I will play it without sound. All that it says is today's the National Day of Remembrance for Homicide Victims, and she wants to pay for the person behind her. Well, as the internet does, they went ahead and did a quick fact check on Miss Lisa. Before I go into the fact check part of this video, I want to talk about trauma dumping on unsuspecting strangers in public. I understand a lot of us have gone through really difficult chapters and extremely horrific things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, and we carry that with us. And we still have to go to work and raise kids and put on a smiley face sometimes, and some of us are carrying hurt and pain that we never vocalize. So I have sympathy for those people. The problem is that this person working at Starbucks, just trying to get through their workday, could also be holding their own pain and grief and trauma. And here you are, no warning, no nothing, literally rolling up to their window where all that they are there to do is have a smile on their face, collect your money, and give you your order so that they can move on with their workday and you can move on with your day as well. But Lisa Mia decided to, trauma dump all over this person, and just the reaction from the barista was confusion. And obviously, you're confused, but you also want to vocalize that it's a sad situation. What a crummy situation to put somebody in. But that's the first part of it, the trauma dumping issue. Now, let's talk about the fact checking that the internet went ahead and did. She claims that her husband was Robert Mason Brewer. And if you go and look at his memorial page at from when he was given his funeral services, there's no mention of a wife or anything along those lines. But then his family has also been interviewed. And his family says, his family member, who just so happens to be his cousin, said that they had not spoken to this woman in years, referring to Lisa Mia, and that the videos upset many of his family members and that she was only doing this for attention. Now, could this family member be lying? Possibly, but there's nothing in the case documents, and the internet has gone through these case documents as they do, and there's no mention of him being married.
This woman named Lisa Mia went viral when she paid for the order of the customer behind her in the Starbucks drive-thru. But this was not a mere act of kindness. She then proceeded to trauma dump to the poor cashier about a fake story of her husband's non-existent tragic death. The man she claims was her husband goes by the name Robert Brewer, and Brewer's death was a high-profile criminal case in Tampa, Florida. 5 men invited him to a house party where drugs would be served. He arrived, and promptly, he was repeatedly stabbed, doused with gasoline, and then set on fire. But nowhere in the case material, nowhere in his obituary, and no official documents exist claiming that he has a wife. In fact, Brewer's family members have gone on record and said that they haven't spoken to Lisa in years and that this is all a bid for attention and to advertise her book.
So in between the obituary and this family member coming out and saying that this girl is just doing this for attention online, what seems to be the case is they most likely had a common law marriage. And you know, if her way of grieving is to really focus heavily on that and say that he was her husband, even though it's a common law marriage and maybe, you know, they didn't have a traditional wedding and a traditional marriage, that's her thing. But the part of this that really bothered me was her literally trauma dumping on that poor Starbucks barista, and then simply just using this as a way to get views. And it worked because her video has almost 2 million views on TikTok. And people who are not only willing to trauma dump on an unsuspecting Starbucks worker, but they are also the types of people to do acts of kindness for social media. I don't think that they're acts of kindness. If you need to film your acts of kindness, then I don't think that you're doing it for the right reason. And that might be an unpopular opinion. That is okay with me. I am not super hung up on the husband marriage, common law marriage, long-term boyfriend. That is kind of like the second tier to this. I was upset because of the trauma dumping and the just having to... It's like the fake tears. She does this thing where she fake cries, and I think a lot of people on social media do that, but it just comes off as very disingenuous, and it comes off as if you are using a crime that happened to somebody that you knew and loved 13 years ago as a way to current day profit and get yourself some brownie points and have your videos perform really well in the algorithm. She talks a lot about this guy, Rob. He is constantly featured in her social media, and she's, you know, building her entire TikTok off of somebody who, according to his family, she wasn't even in the picture. But the problem, like I said, that I have is this, oh, I'm being so kind. I am doing this great act of kindness, but I'm also going to film it and post it on TikTok so that I can make sure that the internet sees it. Because if the internet doesn't see it and validate me, did it really even happen? So, nevertheless, I know this was a little bit random, but I've been covering, you know, a lot on the Ballinger stuff and the Ruby Frankie stuff, so I figured I would drop this in. But that's going to be it for today. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.